During the early morning hours of December 2, 2016, Danielle posted this self-portrait to Instagram with the caption, "November Danielle. Complete." Danielle had been very active on Instagram throughout 2016 and her artwork was often the subject of her posts. Just weeks earlier, Danielle had posted that she was going to draw and post a self-portrait each month, and November Danielle was her very first one. She posted the picture from her Farmington Hills, Michigan home around 2:30 a.m. before going to bed. Hours later, Danielle woke to go to her job at MetLife in Southfield. While at work, she made plans to meet one of her close friends for dinner. Danielle left work around 5 p.m. She planned to stop by her apartment before meeting up with her friend. Unfortunately, Danielle never showed up to meet her friend, and all calls to her phone went straight to voicemail. Danielle's friend was not too worried at first. She simply assumed that Danielle fell asleep after work. However, the next afternoon, Danielle's friend learned that she had failed to show up for her 8 a.m. shift at MetLife. This prompted her to drive by Danielle's apartment to check on her. Upon arriving, Danielle's friend found her car parked in its usual spot. It was locked, and her purse, credit cards, identification and other personal items were inside. Danielle was not inside her apartment. It is believed that Danielle left all of those items in her car on purpose on the evening of December 2nd, as she simply planned to change clothes then return to her car to go meet her friend. After searching both Danielle's car and apartment, it was determined that the only things that Danielle had with her when she vanished were her keys, cell phone, and clothes on her back. Just a few weeks after Danielle's disappearance, on December 19, 2016, Farmington Hills police announced that they believed Danielle was a victim of a crime. 3 days later, police searched the residence of Floyd Galloway Jr., 30, in Berkeley, Michigan. Floyd was previously a security guard at the MetLife building where Danielle worked. Floyd was not employed there on December 2, 2016, but many witnesses have come forward claiming that they saw Danielle and Floyd together in the MetLife parking lot on that evening. The police ended up searching Floyd's home numerous times in the months after Danielle's disappearance, and they seized numerous items throughout those searches. Still, Danielle remained missing and Floyd was not initially charged with anything related to her disappearance. On June 28, 2017, Floyd was arrested for the attempted rape of another 28-year-old woman in Livonia. The woman says that she was jogging in Hines Park when Floyd grabbed her from behind by the neck and choked her, punched her in the face, and began dragging her into the woods toward the Rouge River. Luckily, the woman was able to escape and call 911. Meanwhile, Floyd continued to deny involvement in Danielle's case. However, in 2019, Floyd was arrested and charged with first-degree murder in connection to the disappearance of Danielle Stislicki. He pleaded guilty to unrelated kidnapping and sexual assault charges back in 2017 and remains behind bars today. In September 2019, Floyd pleaded not guilty to the charges. He is expected to go to trial in 2020. Danielle's remains have still not been found. DeNeka Walker has been missing since August 13, 2010. The 30-year-old woman was last seen in her hometown of Muskegon, Michigan. On the day she vanished, DeNeka was seen getting into a black Cadillac CTS driven by a man known only by the nickname Brick. She never returned home and has never been seen or heard from again. DeNeka's family finally reported her missing 9 days later, on August 24, 2010. The only information that DeNeka's family was able to provide to police was that she was last seen with the man known as Brick. The police were able to identify and contact this man, but they were unable to find any evidence that he was involved in DeNeka's disappearance. He came into the police station for questioning, but was eventually released from police custody. DeNeka left behind 4 children, who were subsequently placed in foster care after her disappearance. Her family does not believe that she would voluntarily abandon her children. However, her family also heard rumors that prior to her disappearance, DeNeka was involved in the theft of a large amount of drugs and money. These rumors have not been confirmed, and it is unclear if the rumors have anything to do with her disappearance. The Muskegon County Sheriff's Department is investigating DeNeka's case. If you have any information that could lead to her whereabouts, please contact them at 231 724 6750. Most high school kids don't know what they want to be when they grow up. That was not the case with Jasmine Moody. By the time she was 16, Jasmine knew she wanted to be a nurse. Jasmine's stepfather Patrick Kidd told Dateline his stepdaughter lit up every room. Jasmine was ahead of her time, Patrick said. Every moment with her was good. My daughter was real popular. She had a lot of friends. She was very social and very energetic. Jasmine's mother Lisa Kidd told Dateline she always had a smile on her face. Always, always. According to Patrick, Jasmine was a well-rounded student at Texas Woman's University. She had straight A's, danced, and was training to be part of the U.S. Armed Forces through her school's ROTC program. During her first semester, Jasmine was making new friends both on and off campus. On social media, Jasmine met Brittany Gurley, a woman who lived in Detroit, Michigan. Jasmine's mother Lisa told Dateline that Jasmine and Brittany had a complicated relationship. Lisa says it was a platonic relationship. However, Detroit police say they believe the two were more than just friends. According to authorities, Jasmine and Brittany quickly built a strong connection. In November 2014, just a few months after meeting online, Jasmine flew to Detroit to visit Brittany and her family for Thanksgiving. On the night of December 4, the two young women allegedly got into an argument about Jasmine's social media posts. Brittany and her family would later tell investigators that Jasmine put on a hoodie and walked out of the house. Nobody has seen or heard from Jasmine since that night. Brittany and her family went looking for Jasmine 15 minutes after she left their home. They couldn't find her. After searching the area, they reported her missing to the Detroit Police Department. Detroit Police Officer Mike Pactels led the investigation into Jasmine's disappearance. He told Dateline he immediately noticed something strange. I found her cell phone, ID, jacket, purse, and all her personal belongings inside Brittany's house, he told Dateline. It's definitely not normal for a 19-year-old girl to walk away without those things. And in that weather, the jacket being left behind was particularly concerning. With the wind chill, it was probably below 0 degrees that night. And there was snow on the ground, Officer Pactels said. So she was not dressed for the conditions. Despite conducting ground searches of the area surrounding the house, where Jasmine was last seen, police were unable to find any physical evidence leading to Jasmine's whereabouts. Desperate for leads after 9 months of searching, Jasmine's mother and stepfather hired private investigator Scott Lewis to work with the Detroit Police Department on the case. She disappeared in quite a dangerous neighborhood that she didn't know, Lewis told Dateline. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that she was kidnapped. Private investigator Lewis joined police in their continued efforts, leading the community in ground searches for Jasmine. Despite conducting countless interviews and searches using cadaver dogs, they still have been unable to uncover any solid leads. Though search efforts continue, Jasmine's stepfather fears the worst. I don't believe that she just left the porch and walked away, Patrick told Dateline. In my heart, I feel like she's dead. If somebody had her, she would have gotten her way out of there and got to a phone to call us. So, I don't think she's out there. It still hurts, as if it happened yesterday, because I don't have any closure, Lisa told Dateline. It's very troubling to me, and these missing people cases are very heartbreaking, private investigator Lewis said. The answer is somewhere in that neighborhood. Jasmine Moody is described as 5'5" tall with black hair and brown eyes. At the time of her disappearance, Jasmine weighed 130 pounds. She was last seen at 7:30 p.m. on December 14, 2014 wearing a white University of Texas hoodie, blue jeans and brown boots. If you have any information, please contact Officer Mike Pactels with the Detroit Police Department at 313-596-5156. Jenna Verhill has been missing since August 17, 2017. The 26-year-old lived at her parents' home in South Rockwood, Michigan at the time of her disappearance. After years of struggling with heroin addiction and having several run-ins with police, Jenna was finally beginning to turn her life around. She had been released from jail a few weeks before she vanished, but she had already found a new waitressing job. Jenna also reportedly told her family members that she was planning to go back to school as well. Unfortunately, she disappeared before she ever had the chance. On the day Jenna vanished, her father overheard her giving directions to her parents' house over the phone. Shortly thereafter, a man in a mid-sized tan Ford pulled up to the house. Jenna's father watched as she got into the car and drove off. Later that evening, Jenna's mother sent her a text to ask if she would be coming home soon. Jenna's mother then received a reply saying that she would not. After that interaction, Jenna stopped replying to texts, and all phone calls went straight to voicemail. She has never been seen or heard from again. After Jenna was reported missing, South Rockwood PD stated that they did not find any evidence of foul play. In fact, during February 2018, months after Jenna vanished, the police chief said that Jenna's case is inactive since Jenna is an adult and there is no evidence that a crime has been committed. Still, Jenna's family members believe that she was taken against her will and was possibly forced into trafficking. Jenna remains missing today. There is a cash reward available for anyone with information that could lead to her whereabouts. If you have any information, please text CRIMES 274,637 to submit an anonymous tip. Kalisha Madden vanished at the age of 26 on November 28, 2011. The mother of 6 was last seen after ending a shift at Club Vegas in Detroit, Michigan, where she worked as an exotic dancer. Kalisha was reportedly seen getting into a black truck outside of the club with 3 unidentified African American men. It is believed that Kalisha had just met the men that same night. She never returned home to her children and has never been seen or heard from again. According to Kalisha's mother Pamela Johnson, Kalisha would never voluntarily leave her children behind. Pamela believes that her daughter was murdered. She told reporters, "Word is in the streets that she is deceased and she is buried in Detroit." It is unclear where Pamela received this information, however she believes that Kalisha met dangerous people while at her job. There is a local rumor that has been speculated about on various forums and social media sites as well. This rumor suggests that Kalisha was involved in another dangerous job that involved setting people up for robbery. One particular Detroit local posted that Kalisha was setting people up to be robbed, and this was payback for it. I'm not sure how true that is, just what I have heard. Others commented on the post confirming that they too heard a similar statement. None of this has been confirmed by police, however investigators have remained quiet about the investigation. There is a $60,000 reward in place for information that could solve Kalisha's case. If you have any information that could help the investigation, please report a tip by calling 313 to 596 to 2260. The FBI is investigating the disappearance of Sylvia Galvan, who vanished at the age of 30 in 2011. The circumstances surrounding Sylvia's disappearance are clouded with mystery, likely because she was estranged from both her parents and her 4 children at the time she vanished. Due to this, it took a very long time for them to realize she was missing. In fact, Sylvia was not reported missing until 2013, over 2 years after she was last seen. Throughout the investigation, detectives were able to determine that Sylvia was last seen in her hometown of Mount Morris, Michigan on October 21, 2011. Detectives were also able to track down witnesses who revealed that Sylvia was last seen getting into a vehicle with a group of unidentified men. Authorities have not revealed any further information on the investigation at this time, however they have stated that they believed foul play was involved in Sylvia's disappearance. There is a $2,500 reward in place for anyone with information that could lead to Sylvia's whereabouts. If you have any information that could help the investigation, please contact the FBI Criminal Apprehension Program at 800-637-4097. Tamala Wells has been missing since August 6, 2012. On that night, the 33-year-old mother was last seen leaving her home in Detroit, Michigan around 9:30 p.m. It is unclear where Tamala was headed, but she did speak with her mother, Donna Wells Davis, on the phone later that night, and nothing of concern came up in their conversation. Unfortunately, Tamala never returned home after that and has not been seen or heard from since that phone conversation with Donna. Donna was alerted about Tamala's disappearance the following day when she received a phone call from her granddaughter/Tamala's daughter, who was only 6 years old at the time. The little girl told Donna that her mother never came home the previous night. Donna said that she asked her granddaughter to give the phone to Tamala's live-in boyfriend, Ricky Tennant, but he allegedly refused to speak with her. Donna and her husband then immediately left their home in Florida to travel to Detroit and search for Tamala. After an unsuccessful initial search, Tamala was reported missing to the Detroit police. 3 days after her disappearance, Tamala's car was found abandoned on just blocks away from her home. Some of her clothing items were inside the vehicle, but there was otherwise no other trace of Tamala. Investigators have apparently gotten very few leads since then, but they have looked at those closest to Tamala, including her live-in boyfriend Ricky. The pair had lived together for 15 years, and Ricky reportedly had a very contentious relationship with Tamala's family members even prior to her disappearance. Said relationship between Tamala's family members and Ricky did not improve once Tamala went missing, especially after Ricky began talking to the media. In an August 2015 interview, Ricky told reporters that the family gives him a headache, as did Tamala. He explained, "Tamala used to give me a headache, but I dealt with it, and I'm looking at it right now, as one headache is better than two headaches." Many felt that this was a rather insensitive comment to make about a missing loved one, as he made it seem as if he is happy that Tamala is gone. Despite this, investigators stated that Ricky has cooperated with the investigation, and they have not named him as a suspect at this time. Tamala's family members disagree with investigators. Tamala's mother Donna told reporters that she is almost positive that Ricky had something to do with her daughter's disappearance. Tamala allegedly told Donna that Ricky had abusive tendencies and that she wanted to leave him for good. Still, Donna does not believe that Tamala would have run away without her children or without contacting the rest of her family. Tamala remains missing today. If you have any information that could lead to her whereabouts, please contact the Detroit Police Department at 313 to 596 to 5640.